A person in a light-colored shirt and cap stands at a podium on a stage, speaking into a microphone. An audience sits in the foreground facing the stage. A flag hangs on the right side of the stage.
You just got back from lunch, right? Yeah? Did you have a good lunch, good food? Did anybody have any cookies left over you want to give to me? You do? I'm going to find you after the program, get some cookies. All right, I'd like to say welcome to the 10 of Many Voices to the Core Discovery 2. My name is Ranger Braden, and I've been traveling with this tent and the rest of our exhibit for a little over a year and a half of living on the road. The exhibit's been traveling for 3 years now. So we're having a lot of fun, and we're having a great time here in your guys' area. In here in the 10 of Many Voices, we invite in different speakers, different presenters, different folks to come in and share their story and share their history, their knowledge, their opinions of Lewis and Clark, not only what happened 200 years ago, but what's going on still today in those same areas 200 years later. So with all that said and out of the way, I'd like to introduce you to our next presenter, Mr. Lim Mitchell, who has an excellent last name, by the way. Mr. Lim Mitchell, he is from the non-treaty Nimiipuu. All right, I didn't butcher it too bad for him. So if you could please help me welcome Mr. Mitchell.
Tatsalach, Hutswell Kapateen. In my language, I says, good afternoon, boys and girls. I'm going to tell a little bit of coyote stories in our history, in our culture. Coyote is he can either be a good guy or a bad guy. He can help you or not help you. But a couple of the stories I'm going to tell. Have you got any people? All you know where the Lochsa River is? Raise your hand if you know where the Lochsa is at. Oh, not that many, huh? Well, I'm going to tell a story about how the Lochsa was formed. It's actually a Salish story from our brothers on the other side of the pass. They don't have no salmon over there, and they back before people came on this earth, the animals used to rule all the land, and Coyote was kind of the leader of all the animal people at that time, and they were wondering on the other side, why do we always have to cross over the mountains to trade for our fish? We have to go over on the other side of the mountains to get salmon from them on that side. Why don't we have salmon on our side over here on the other side of the Lolo Pass where the mountains are? And they all wondered, all the animals were having a discussion that day, and Coyote came along and he says, yeah, I think I can fix that. I could go over there on the other side of the mountains. I'll cross over the pass. I'll go down to the stream and I'll catch me a salmon and I'll bring it back and I'll put it in the water over here and we'll have salmon.
A person wearing glasses and a purple shirt with red and white geometric patterns speaks while looking to the side. They have long dark hair and stand against a plain gray background.
On this side of the mountains. Because Coyote, he was pretty arrogant because he figured he could do anything and everything. And so he kept saying, well, I can do it. I'll go on the other side of the mountains and I'll catch a fish and I'll bring it over here. But a big voice came over and said, no, Coyote, you can't do it that way. And Coyote says, yeah, I can. I can do it any way I want because I am Coyote. I got powers to do whatever I want to do. And the big voice says, no, if you follow in my instructions, and you'll be able to bring the salmon and put them in this stream, and then we'll have fish on this side of the mountains. Well, Coyote listened to him, and the big voice came back and says, these are the things you have to do in order to make this a successful trip. When you go on the other side of the mountains and you catch a salmon, you take the first one you catch, you take him out of the water, you wrap him in wet grass, and you put him in your parfletch, and you put him on your back, and you come over the mountains and all the way as fast as you can. Run as fast as you can. Don't stop. Don't stop at all. Don't stop nowhere. All the way over and put him in the water. Unwrap him out of your parfletch and unwrap him out of the grass and put him in that water. Then we can have salmon on this side of the mountains. So Coyote says, oh, I can do that. That's nothing to that. So he goes off, comes on this side of the pass, comes clear down into the water, clear water in here, fishes around, catches him a salmon, about this size. Ain't good enough. Throws him back in. Fishes around some more, pulls out another one, a little bigger. Ain't good enough either. Fishes around some more, boom, catches a big salmon. All right, this is the one I'm going to take. So he throws it, gets it out of the water, throws it in the parfletch, throws it on his back, and he takes off back for the other side. And he gets part way up, and he's barely making it because this salmon was big and he's heavy. He's packing him on his parfletch, and he's going up the mountain. He's getting tired, and he says, I know I ain't supposed to rest, but I have to. I'm going to take me 1 minute break. And he takes his parfletch off and sets it down, and he sits down. He's almost to the top of the mountains, almost over, but he sits down and rests. Well, as soon as the salmon feels that ground, he just starts flopping around. He jumps up out of that, knocks that parfletch loose, and he jumps up out of that parfletch, flopping around on the ground, and the coyote jumps up and tries to grab him. Every time he tries to grab the salmon.
A person wearing glasses and a lavender jacket with red and white pattern design stands in profile facing right. They have long dark hair and a ponytail. Part of another person's arm is visible on the right edge of the frame.
And squirms out and jumps and lands over here. And each time, everywhere the the salmon lands, the coyote tries to grab him again. Water pops up, a spring pops up. The salmon jumps over here, and another spring pops up, all the way down, and coyote's trying to catch him. Pretty soon, all these springs start running together. Salmon swims on down the stream, gets away. The coyote's standing there. Now, what am I going to do? So he goes back over on the other side, tells the animal people over there, I had him. I had a salmon, but he got away. And he said, well, did you do everything you were told to do? Well, yeah, I think I did. But and it's my mistake here. I should have asked you guys before we started to pay attention, because that's kind of what this story is about. Remember when I started, what Coyote was supposed to do? Catch the first fish, wrap him in grass, put him in a parfletch, and go all the way without stopping. Right? Coyote didn't do what, though? Does anybody remember? That's one. Okay. That's another one. Anybody else? There's one more, something that he didn't do. Yeah, they got all three of them. See, that's from not following the instructions. He didn't get to complete his endeavor he started. And that's why we all have to follow instructions, right? Am I right or wrong? Okay, well that's, thanks to Coyote not following instructions, we now have the Lochsa River. And no thanks to Coyote for not following instructions, they still have no salmon on the other side of the mountains. So we need to all follow instructions whenever we get them. Another story I want to tell about Coyote is, like I said, most of all the Coyote stories that our people tell all have some type of a meaning, some type of a plan so that people can learn from it. And the next one I'm going to tell is called the Buffalo Bull and the Coyote. Back over in the Montana plains, and the buffalo were plentiful, and big old bull, he had this big vast area where he stayed. Had all these herd of cows and all these children out there, and he had
A person wearing glasses and a lavender shirt with geometric patterns in burgundy and white stands against a gray background, mouth slightly open as if speaking.
this green, all this grass out there for him to eat. Nice, cool stream run right through his land. He had his big buffalo wallow right there for him. And he was prime. He was a good-looking, healthy buffalo bull. He had everything he needed. Coyote, he comes trotting along, and he's looking pretty scraggly, kind of hungry. Tells the buffalo bull, you know, "Wow, I wish I could be just like you. I wish I was a buffalo bull just like you are. I wish I had everything that you have." Buffalo bull says, "Well, you can't be like me, and you can't have everything I have because you're a coyote and I'm a buffalo bull." And Coyote says, "I know that, but you got powers that can help me." And Buffalo Bull says, "No, I do, but I ain't going to help you, not right now." And Coyote says, "Well, just help me this one time." And he says, "No," and he goes walking off, and Coyote follows him. Follows him everywhere he goes. Finally, Buffalo Bull gets tired of him. "Ah, Lamutets, Coyote." In my language, Lamutets means you're so bothersome. "Go over there, go catch a mouse. Go catch some mice to eat." And Coyote says, "That's all I ever get to eat is mice." So Buffalo Bull gets tired of him, bugging him. He tells him, "All right, go sit down over here. Close your eyes and don't move. No matter what you hear, don't move, don't open your eyes." Coyote says, "All right, I'll go do it." So he goes over there and he sits down, he closes his eyes, he's sitting there. He can hear all kinds of noise going on. He can hear thumping, he can hear that bull tearing the ground up and snorting around. Pretty soon he hears the buffalo's hoofs coming, boom, 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 boom. And his curiosity is getting to him. He's wondering what's going on, and just right at the last second, he opens his eyes and he sees that buffalo bull charging right at him, and he jumps off to the side, and the bull goes by. And Buffalo Bull gets mad. He stops and he comes back and he says, "See, I told you, Coyote, you're just bothersome. I told you not to move, and you never follow instructions." The Coyote follows him around for another hour or more, bugging him. "All right, this is the last time I'm going to help you. I'm going to try it one more time. If you move this time, I'll never help you again, ever talk to you again." So Coyote goes and sits down again, same thing, closes his eyes, sits there, hears all that commotion of stomping and snorting, and he hears a running again. Hears that Buffalo Bull coming. Bam, he hits that Coyote, knocks him way up in the air. Coyote comes landing, lands on the ground. He's kind of dazed, he's laying there. Gets up and shakes his head, looks at himself. "All right, I don't have no more paws."
A person with long dark hair and glasses sits against a plain gray background, wearing a lavender shirt with a geometric pattern in burgundy and white. They are turned slightly to the side, smiling.
"I got hoofs. All right, I got big horns. All right, I'm a Buffalo Bull." So he's all happy and proud, and he's walking around, and a Buffalo Bull comes over and tells him, "Okay, I helped you. I made you what I am, but you have to go find your own place to live. This is mine. You got to go find your own place." All right, so he trots off, and he goes a few miles away and finds his own place to live in. Time goes by. Another Coyote comes along. Sees that big Buffalo Bull, same situation. Oh, he's just fat and real nice looking coat, and all he wants is right there. And the Coyote asked him, he's not the Buffalo Bull now, he's the Bull Coyote. He was a coyote, but now he's a bull coyote. Well, the second Coyote tells him, I wish I was like you. You got all this stuff to eat. All I've had to eat today was 2 mice. I'm getting tired of mice. Think you could help me? Think you could make me just like you are?" And the Coyote Bull says, "I don't know. I had a hard time getting like this myself." And he says, "But I'll tell you what, I'll give you one chance. You go sit down over here, close your eyes, and no matter what, don't move, don't open your eyes, and don't move." So he says, "All right." So Coyote goes and sits down over there, and the Coyote Bull tears the ground up, snorting around. You could hear him running. Bam, he hits that second Coyote, and they both go flying in the air. They land on the ground. The second Coyote gets up, looks at himself. "I'm still a coyote. It didn't work." And the first Coyote, the Coyote Bull, he gets up. says, it did too, worked on me. Now I'm a coyote again. But the moral of, the story, like I said, they all got meanings, and the moral of that story for the coyote too is that, you are what you are, and the Creator made you what you are, and you always want to be proud of what you are and who you are, no matter what. And that's kind of the moral of that story about the coyote and the coyote bull. Because your people, your own kind, will bring you back down to earth to what you really are. And that's kind of what that story talks about. Because the coyote wanted to be that coyote, be the buffalo bull, but you can't be what you're not, what the Creator didn't make you. Yeah. Another one I want to tell is
a person wearing glasses and a blue and red patterned shirt stands against a plain gray background, speaking with an animated expression.
About two coyotes. Like I said, most of all these coyote stories have a lesson. Two coyotes are going up the stream. Coyote's either going upstream or downstream. He's always traveling. He's looking for something to do, some kind of mischief or whatever to get into. He's always moving. And him and his partner, they're walking up the trail. And they get up to a certain place and they go along this ridge, and it goes across and it comes over this bench. And they're talking. He says, when we get up over to the top there, and we look down on those people, their village down on the river, you listen to what they say. You're a coyote, but I'm not a coyote. He says, yeah, you're a coyote. You're just like me. You look exactly like me. We look alike, but I'm not. You watch and see now. When we go over that ridge, you go first. Okay, so the first coyote goes over. So they come to the ridge, and they're looking down at the village, and they see it down there, and the people are down there. So he goes trotting out. You go first, he tells him. So he goes trotting out there, looks down and makes sure the people can see him. People look up. Oh, look at there. It's a yai. That's in our language. That's how you say coyote. There's coyote right there. And he trots off, goes up and over the ridge, and he stands on the other side of the trail, and he tells his partner, now your turn. Come across and see what they say. So second coyote, he goes trotting over there, and he stops where people can see him. He's looking down there. And the people all look up, and they're looking at him. Oh, look at. It's another one. So he goes trotting over there, and he tells his partner, see, I told you, I'm not a coyote. I'm another one. And so, just like I said, the moral of that story, too, is the Creator made you what you are. Even though that he thought he was something else, he was not something else. He was the same as that other coyote. The last one I'm going to tell you is a kind of a creation story of our people, the Nimiipuu people. It happened right here in this big valley right here, a long time ago, and before people were on this earth. There used to be a monster in this big valley, big monster. And all the animal people were disappearing. There used to be a big waterfalls down on the Columbia River called Celilo Falls. That's where all the people used to go and catch salmon and trade.
A person wearing glasses and a purple and burgundy patterned shirt stands against a plain gray background, looking upward and to the side.
The coyote was traveling downstream, and he was wondering where everybody was at, because he didn't run into nobody all along the river, and usually there's people fishing. And he couldn't run into nobody. So he got down to Celilo, didn't run into one person. He's wondering where they're at. Here comes Magpie flying over. He lands down, and Coyote says, where's everybody? You fly in the air, you can see all around. Where's everybody at, gathered at? He says, oh, something's happening up in the valley up there, Kamiai, up in the upper country. There's a big monster up there, and he's swallowing everybody down. So Coyote says, well, we better go do something about this. And so he makes his way on up the river, and as he's coming up the river, he stops in a few places and gathers up some Indian hemp. He makes some ropes out of this Indian hemp, long ropes out of it. Makes 3 of them. He gets further on up the river, on up to the place down here, and he finds him some flint. So he makes him 3 knives. He says, I'll need these when I get up there. So he gets on up here, and he looks over the mountains, and he says, oh, yeah, there he is down there, too. He's right in the valley. Just like they said, I'll go down there, and I'll confront him, and we'll have a contest. First, I need to tie these ropes. So he ties the ropes around his waist, all 3 of his ropes around his waist, and ties them off to the mountaintops. Way out this way. He comes down to the mountains there and looks over the edge and hollers at the monster. Hey, it's Welton. That's how you say monster in my language. I want to challenge you to a contest. And he says, what kind of contest? Well, since you're inhaling everybody, you inhale me, and I'll inhale you. All right. Coyote says, well, you're bigger than me, so you go first. All right. Monster says, sucks in as hard as he can. See, trees are uprooting and rocks are falling down and making all kinds of commotion, tearing the ground up. But Coyote's still there. One of his ropes breaks. So he gets a little closer. And it's the Coyote. He says, okay, my turn. And he goes, hard as he can, he inhales. A few leaves shake a little bit. Grass moves just a little bit. Nothing happens. Okay, monster, it's your turn. So he does it. Same thing, rocks and trees all falling down. Another rope breaks. Coyote gets a little closer. Coyote inhales. Same thing, just a few trees, leaves rattle, and a little bit of the grass shakes. And Coyote says,
A person wearing glasses and a lavender shirt with red and white geometric pattern sits indoors against a light gray wall, looking off camera during a moment of silence.
all right, this is your last turn here. You do it. And monster's hard as he can. This time he just, everything comes flying down. Even Coyote's last rope breaks. Even he comes flying down, and the monster swallows him. But as he's going down the monster's throat, he starts running into his animal people that he had already swallowed. He runs into the whackpuss, the rattlesnake. First, the rattlesnake's acting all fierce towards him, striking at him. And Coyote says, you know, how come you're doing that to me? You let this guy swallow you. And he goes over and stomps on the rattlesnake's head and tells him, you know, you don't act like that to me. The rattlesnake crawls off, and today that's why the rattlesnake's head's flat. Coyote stepped on him. And he goes further down, he runs into the grizzly bear. And the grizzly bear is acting all ferocious towards him, trying to bite him. And he says, why are you trying to bite me? You got all this meat right here you could be eating. Why are you suffering like this? Pushes the grizzly bear away, pushes him by his nose, and that's why the grizzly bear has that concave nose now, face. He goes a little further down, and the muskrat's laying there. Tells the muskrat, why are you over there in the corner crying around? You're one of the smarter ones. You should be trying to figure out how to get these people out of here. And the muskrat's over there shaking around, and the coyote says, okay, I got a plan. I got these knives, so I'm going to cut this heart. When I get done cutting his heart, he's going to take his last breath. All these openings are going to open up, and that's when we're going to escape. Okay. So he jumps up on the heart, and he starts cutting that heart. But his knife breaks. His first knife breaks. So he throws it down. He grabs a second knife, and it breaks. Third knife. Well, he says, get ready, everybody, get ready. And his last knife breaks, but he just has very little bit hanging on. So he pulls hard as he can on that heart. Boom, the heart pops off. The monster weaves around a little bit, and bam, he's dead. Falls down dead. His last breath, all these openings open up. His mouth, his ears, his back end. The coyote makes everybody go out the back end. Push all the bones out the back end. All you people that are alive, go. They go out the back end, and sure enough, muskrat's the last one out. And too late, closed up. Has muskrat's tail. And they're all pulling on the muskrat. Come on, come on. Finally, they pop the muskrat out. And that's why muskrats don't have no hair on their tails now, today. You guys ever see a muskrat? Know what muskrats are? Anyway, that's Then a fox comes over and he says, what are we going to do with this? Now we got this whole big body laying here. What are we going to do with it? He says, oh, we'll cut it up and throw it away. We'll get rid.
A person wearing glasses and a purple patterned shirt with red and white geometric design stands against a plain gray background, looking upward with a contemplative expression.
Of it. So they start cutting it up and they start throwing pieces to all the directions. The monster has these short front arms. He throws them to the southwest. Has the big long legs in the back, and he throws them out into the Midwest, out into the plains. And if you go down to the southwest, not all of them, but most of those people down there are short people now. And if you go out to the Midwest, out to the plains, not all of them either, but you see a lot of tall tribal members out there in the plains. The Lakota and the Crow and the Cheyenne, they're all tall people. And Fox tells him, well, what about here? What about this place? You got all this fine land here, water, mountains. Everything's beautiful, but we don't have no people here. So Coyote tells him, well, go get me some water. Go get me some coos. He goes over and brings water, and Coyote gets some blood off of the... All we got left is the heart here. He grabs some blood off of the heart and washes his hands with that water and goes like this with his hands and sprinkles it around. And everywhere that blood landed, that blood and that water landed, Nimiipuu people sprouted up. And that's exactly how our people lived in all these different areas. He said, these people are going to be brave, brilliant, and good-hearted. But who's going to take care of them? They don't have no clothing, don't have no shelter, no food. Who's going to take care of them? And all the animals came forward. Elk, deer, moose all came forward. We'll take care of them. We'll give them shelter. We'll give them clothing, and we'll be their food. The salmon, he popped up out of the water, and he says, I'll come back every year, and I'll feed these people as long as they keep my water clean. And so right there at that time, and even the small roots popped up, and they said the same thing. As long as you take care of our land and take care of our water and take care of us, we'll take care of you. And so that's kind of how and why the native people are so close tied with the earth, the land, the water, and the animals. Because we made a compact with the animal people a long, long time ago. Yuchkalo. Cut you out, yeah. In my language, that's all. Thank you.
What'd you all think? You like those stories? Yeah, pretty good. You want to help me give them one more round of applause for those wonderful stories?
Thank you.
We'd like to thank you very much, Lim, for coming out and sharing those. All right, where is group number one? Uh-oh, we're kind of everywhere. That's okay. Group number one, you guys are going to be heading